crossover boxing event ever. Live on the Zone pay-per-view, October 14th. Sign up at dazn.com.
This is Oscar Bevis for IFL TV. Nathan Heaney joins you, my man. Pleasure. As always, good to see you. Not much needs to be said about this card. Magnificent 7 for a reason. 8 title fights at the Manchester Arena. You get to fight for the British title, which I know has been a dream of yours. I guess this is what you do the sport of boxing for.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, mate. Like you say, Magnificent 7. Like from a proper boxing supporter's perspective, it's a proper card. Like it's a really, really good card, and obviously, I get the chance to fight for the best belt in British boxing. Obviously, I've got a massive test against Denzel Bentley. I'm considered the underdog, and yeah, I've just got to do what I need to win.
Yeah, just kind of referring to what was said on the stage. It was always Stoke City and British title. Them two things were kind of your bucket list things. You get to do one today. Just talk to me about kind of the negotiations for this fight, because I know Frank said up there they were looking at Stoke, they were kind of viewing different options, etc. It's ended here, which is obviously a massive fight in a massive arena. Just talk to me about kind of the negotiations and how this all come about.
Yeah, I think Frank and George have been trying to sort Stoke for ages now, but I think there's just little things behind the scenes that have stopped things from happening. So they obviously need to make a massive show like this at the Manchester Arena, and I think a fight like me and Denzel just sells, even just for the normal people as well, because obviously it's the ticket seller versus the dangerous British champion who's fought for a world title and so on. It just sells, and obviously all my guys will be backing me to obviously help me to do well and to do what I need to do to win. But yeah, it's the fight was offered, obviously we accepted, and then yeah, here we are.
I suppose it's a thing you can't really turn down, the chance to fight for, as you said, the best belt in boxing.
Exactly, everything. It's always been, throughout my career, it's always been risk reward, particularly when you are working towards getting to the ground. So you can't have any silly fights along the way. But granted, you don't get a much tougher test really at British level than Denzel. But you win that fight, and that secures, well, like Frank said, there's a world title shot at the end of it. So, and then that is at the ground regardless of what goes on behind the scenes. That's what's happening. So it's very important to obviously do it. And now, granted, everyone's at home, oh, he's going to get smashed and blah blah blah. I don't really care about that, to be honest. I've got a fantastic opportunity in front of me, and I'll do my best I can.
You're never going to please everyone. You might be going in as the underdog, but obviously you train hard, and you and your fans will give you a chance in this fight for sure. In terms of you two up there, and I know you're very respectful, and that I kind of agree completely with what you said. Actually, sometimes you don't really need all the silly stuff that comes with it. There was no tables thrown, there was no bad language. You're just two good blokes who conduct themselves well and like fighting.
Yeah, I've said it before. In a world full of knobheads, being a nice guy sometimes it stands out when it shouldn't do really. Being a nice lad or whatever, being polite or using your manners and just being respectful shouldn't really stand out. That should be the norm, but it isn't really so. Is it? But like I say, I've never had to do a single stupid call out or anything in my whole career, and I'm arguably the best supported fighter in the country. So yeah, just I like the fact that I can just be me, and obviously I'm a fighter. That's where you do your business. But outside of it, I'm just myself.
Obviously, you know, and you just said that you're expecting a tough fight from Denzel. But what sort of fighter stylistically are you expecting? Is he going to have to bring it? We know you've got a good jab. We know you can box well. We know you're a big guy. He likes to punch. He likes to fight. Are you expecting a Denzel Bentley that's going to come and just bring heat from the off?
I haven't got a clue. I really don't. So, in his last fights, you wouldn't say he brought the heat. He was cautious. He obviously was against the southpaw. He was cautious. But within 3 shots, he knocked the guy spark out. So I think Bentley works to whatever comes towards him. But I think
you both have to be adaptable then. You both see what happens and play from there.
Well, I think stylistically, we're both pretty clean fighters in terms of we're not messy. I think we keep the range well, both of us. So it's how those styles will gel, and I think they'll gel pretty well, to be fair.
Yeah, mate, I can't wait. It's going to be a really good fight. And I know it's going to mean so much to you if you can get your hands on that belt. You mentioned only 2 people from Stoke have fought for it or won it.
Yeah, only two people have ever won it. I think the first one was Tommy Harrison in 1924. He was like a bantamweight. Like a featherweight. Maybe bantam and featherweight. And then 90 years later, maybe even a little bit longer, my masters and greats, but Chris Edwards won. I think he owned it outright. In fact, it's super featherweight, and he won it at featherweight, and was like the most successful boxer we've ever had from the city. An amazing bloke. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even longer. But it's just time's going so quick. But yeah, that's I think it was 12 years ago that he last won that. So it's been a long time since a fighter from the city's been able to obviously do this. And at middleweight, no one's ever won it. No one's ever won a British title above super feather.
Yeah, and I guess that's the company that you want to be keeping. Just kind of a final word. Obviously, we know the atmosphere is going to be wicked. Like you said, it's a great card. Just going to be a mega night on November the 18th.
That's it. At the end of the day, like I said, I've said before, this is, I'm already living my dream. As a young fighter growing up, having all those amateur fights throughout the years, you hope to fight for one of the best promoters in the world, and that's Frank Warren. And that's what I fight for. And to be fair, I don't even think I imagined all this kind of stuff. You imagine fighting for Frank, and obviously that's happened, but did you ever imagine like fighting and headlining events and massive titles? You just don't, because you think it's out of reach, but the reality is here, so it's just for me to take it, really.